Hi gorgeous, and a very happy Frugal Friday to you. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I make videos like this every Friday focusing on drugstore makeup, so please subscribe so you'll always be notified of new videos in the future. Today I'm reviewing 4 new makeup products that Rimmel has recently released. This includes an eyeshadow palette, a winged eyeliner pen, a foundation, and a concealer. Now I'd first like to apologize to you for the demonstration portion of this video. It was one of those days where I forgot to plug in the microphone. Oh, I turned it on. It was on, but it was not plugged in. So the audio is going to be a little echoey in the demonstration portion. I tried to fix it as much as I could in the editor, but there's only so much you can do with bad audio. So I want to let you know up front, it's not up to my usual quality standards, and I simply didn't want to take the time to go back and re-record it. Yeah, no. At any rate, I'll be showing you an up-close application demonstration with each of these products, and I'll also include a wear test at the end so you can see how they truly perform, and I'll let you know, are any of them worth getting or not? First product I have to review for you is the Magnifies Color Edition eyeshadow palette. There are 12 shades in here in a mixture of mattes and shimmers, and I'll show you the swatches real quick here on the back of my hand so you can get an idea of the color range that they provide you within this palette. I do have a primer applied for those who are curious. I always apply a primer, but I don't always say I've applied a primer. At any rate, I used the Milani one today. I'm going to start with this shade, Bye-Bye Brush, right here in the palette. The texture is a little powdery, want to let you know that up front, but it does stick to the brush nicely. And it applies pretty nice too so far. Now, as I'm putting this look together, I'm not really caring for the color range personally because I'm finding it rather hard to pair up colors in this palette. This would almost be one that I'd want to mix in with other eyeshadows in my collection. Let's try green. We haven't used green in an eyeshadow look in a while, so I'm going to take this one down here, which is a matte texture. So we'll see how the matte compares to the shimmer. Very pigmented. Boy, I didn't have much on the brush at all. I'm personally just not liking these two colors and the way they're looking together on the eyes so far. So what I'm going to do is take the white shade at the top of the palette up here. I'm going to layer this over that shimmer eyeshadow I used on the inner half of the lid to lighten it a little bit. Or change the look entirely, because that's what it did. And I like it much better with using the white instead of that gold tan. For the crease, I'm gonna play it safe. I just am. So I'll use this one first, see how it applies. The pigmentation is really good with this palette. I am highly impressed, both in the swatches and the application on the eyes. So no complaint there. I think the color, of course, color is a very personal thing for so many people. Color threw me off with this palette. The crease color is a little shimmery for my liking. I would have liked for there to be some more matte shades in here, especially when we're talking about transition colors, because there were a lot of mattes here at the end with these really bold colors, but you can't really use those as transition shades. I mean, you can. I'm not gonna say you can't, but for most people, it's not really desirable to have a bright blue crease color, I'm just saying. You know, I tried it, I really, really did, but I need a matte crease shade. I can't go without it. I'm gonna take one of the transition shades from one of the Wet n Wild palettes and layer that on top just to get rid of some of this shimmer, because it's like shimmer overload on the eyes right now. I am using Wet n Wild's Comfort Zone, that shade right up there. And I am going to go back with a little bit of that green from the Rimmel, not the blue, like I was saying, from the Rimmel palette. And I'm using a little bit more of that to define the outer V. And to play off of the green that we already have going on the eyes, I went ahead and added one of Maybelline's Lasting Drama pencils in Glossy Emerald to the lower waterline, and I also tightlined the upper waterline. Next new product I have to share with you from Rimmel is their Wonder Wing eyeliner. What makes this so different and unique is that it's got a stamp tool on the end. You can see there 2 flat sides that you were supposed to be able to press on the outer corner of the eye to create a wing, and then use the tip to fill the rest in. what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna study this for a second. Yeah, well. It's not as good as some other winged eyeliner stencils I've used. It does give you the shape, no doubt. It's just not a very good shape in my opinion. All right, we're gonna high speed this so that you don't have to sit there and watch me draw for the next 10 minutes. It does work to initially give you the shape of the wing, but you are required to fill in the rest of it from there and to make it look somewhat presentable on your own eyes. I don't feel like it's one of those stamps that you can just and go. Moving on to the face, Rimmel has come out with a brand new foundation. This is their Lasting Finish 25-Hour Breathable Foundation, and I picked up the shade Fair Ivory. I thought that this was a repackaging of their original 25-Hour Lasting Finish foundation, but that doesn't appear to be the case here. This appears to be an actually brand new foundation that they've come out with, and they're marketing this one as being more of a lightweight formula compared to the Lasting Finish 25-Hour foundation. At least that's what I've been able to gather by researching the two side by side. I love the Lasting Finish 25-Hour foundation. It's one of those that will go for 25 hours, as they claim, without smudging, smearing, sweating off, and it's one of the best drugstore foundations I've ever used. So naturally, I have really high hopes for this one. No pump. I really don't like that about Rimmel foundations. That's my only complaint, is that they give you that. I am going to apply it to 1/2 of my face and leave the other side undone because I want to see what the coverage looks like, and I want you to see too. Beautiful finish. Love the coverage. You can see from this side to this side the intense amount of coverage you get, and that's with just one light layer of the foundation. It was really bugging me. I had to go dig out my original Lasting Finish foundation to compare it to the new breathable one from Rimmel. The only difference I can really see between the two bottles is that the breathable one says it provides medium coverage. The original 25-Hour Lasting Finish one says it gives you full coverage. I would definitely say that. I feel like this one gives you much greater coverage compared to this one, although the coverage is still really beautiful with the new breathable foundation. Rimmel also came out with a brand new concealer. This is their Lasting Finish 25-Hour Breathable Medium Coverage Concealer, and I picked up the shade Fair. We'll keep it consistent, and I'll apply the concealer on this side like I did with the foundation, leaving this side untouched so you can see the true nature of this product and how much coverage you actually get. And that's what the applicator looks like. Looks like a few other drugstore applicators that I have. And you simply squeeze. There you go. I wasted a bunch, but it's okay. I'm using the L'Oreal concealer sponge to blend it under my eyes. Blends in pretty nicely. Oh, coverage is simply beautiful, and it looks like skin under my eyes. Completely canceled out my purple under eye circles, as you can see from this eye over here to this one in comparison. Really happy with the formula, the blendability, the natural appeal of it, and the coverage. What I found particularly interesting with these new Rimmel products is that they came out with a new concealer and a new foundation, but they didn't come out with a new powder. Just an observation. So I am going to stick with an old favorite, the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder, and I'm going to set my face using that. It's weird, isn't it? You would expect there to be a powder to round out the collection. Maybe their Stay Matte powder is so popular they didn't feel the need to change anything. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Based on my experience with the 25-Hour Lasting Finish foundation from Rimmel, I decided to stretch this wear test to 12 hours. So this is what my face looked like at the end of those 12 hours. The eyeliner did something funky. There's a big spot missing off of one of the wings if you look closely at my eyes. I'm not really sure what happened there, so I wasn't impressed with the quality of this. The foundation didn't get oily. It was still pretty matte on the skin, But here's my problem with it. It rubbed away from my nose, from my chin, and a little bit off of my cheek if you look real closely at it. Wasn't very happy to see that because I don't recall that happening with the Lasting Finish 25-hour foundation. The concealer didn't look that great at the end of the day either. It had creased underneath my eyes, and this is not one that I would feel confident wearing in the future without feeling like I had to babysit it. Well, let's talk a little bit about the eyeshadow palette. There's a reason why I didn't include it in the commentary with that wear test. It wore really well throughout the day. That's about the only positive thing that I have to say about this eyeshadow palette. What I didn't share with you in the initial demonstration with it is that I got a little bit of it in my eye during application, and I had this stinging, burning sensation, but it didn't last that long, and I thought, oh, maybe it's just in my head. Maybe, you know, I don't know. Well, I washed off my makeup that night and I had the most horrible, burning, awful sensation on my eyes I have ever experienced. And again, I couldn't attribute it to the eyeshadow or the eyeliner because I was wearing both. And I thought, well, let me try the eyeshadow again on a separate day in the future. So a couple days later, I wore the eyeshadow all by itself. I didn't get that burning, stinging sensation on application again, but when I went to go wash my makeup off that night, horrible fire, burning sensation on my eyes. It was completely miserable, and it wasn't the cleanser I'm using at all. I've been using this cleanser for a couple years now. Terrible, terrible stuff. So I think I had a reaction to the eyeshadow. Not saying that you will. I have particularly sensitive eyes with especially metallic shades, so that could have been what happened here. But I wanted to put it out there for those of you who do have sensitive eyes and maybe have reacted to eyeshadows in the past. Now, makeup is a very personal thing. We all know that. So you have to take my opinions with a grain of salt and just understand that these were my experiences with these products. Just because I don't like them doesn't mean that you won't. But I wanted to put it out there if anybody else experiences the same issues with any of these products that I did. Let me know if you have seen these Rimmel products out, if you've picked them up and tried them out, and please feel free to share your experiences with them below. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Please subscribe so you don't miss out on any Frugal Fridays in the future. I want to wish you a wonderful weekend ahead, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Concealer in the shade Ivory. No, it's in the shade Fair. This is their Lasting Finish 25-hour breathable felt. Excuse me, goodness. I've never done that on camera. Of the concealer. Now this one does say Lasting Finish 25-hour on it. Focus, focus. Why aren't you focusing?